articles of impeachment to the Senate next week, and the Trump administration defending the killing of Iran's top general Qasem Soleimani and slapping the country with additional sanctions, days after Tehran launched an attack on U.S. targets in Iraq. Let's bring in Senator Thom Tillis. He's a member of both the Senate Judiciary and Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator, we were going to start with impeachment, but I want to start just to get your reaction on the breaking news. President Trump saying just moments ago to us that he believes that General Soleimani was planning to blow up the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad and go after other embassies. Your response, sir?
Well, Soleimani was responsible for the attack last week. I firmly believe he was back in Iraq to figure out what the next operation would be, and it makes perfect sense that he would go back after the embassy. That's why he had to be taken out, but not necessarily based on the future threat. He needed to be taken out based on the fact that he's responsible for hundreds of men and women in uniform in Iraq and a number of terrorist operations over the past 20 years that he's led the Quds Force and the IRGC.
Which kind of brings us into some Wall Street Journal reporting, and it says, I'm going to read this to you, sir. Mr. Trump, after the strike, told associates he was under pressure to deal with General Soleimani from GOP senators he views as important supporters in his coming impeachment trial in the Senate, associates said. Kind of that whole wag the dog thing coming back. Your thoughts about that?
I don't buy it. Look, we've been tracking Soleimani since he first took the lead of the Quds Force. He has been a threat. That sounds like a great narrative for the Democrats to actually carry forward, but I have not heard that in any of the time that I've been in the Senate over the past 5 years.
Well, we were just Laura Ingraham, one of our hosts at night, just interviewed President Trump. She was talking about the impeachment, Nancy Pelosi deciding to send articles of impeachment to the Senate, and the possible testimony of former National Security Advisor John Bolton. Listen to this, Senator, and I'll get your response.
Why not call Bolton? Why not allow him to testify? This thing is bogus. Why
I would have no problem other than one thing. You can't be in the White House as president future. I'm talking about future, many future presidents, and have a security advisor. Anybody having to do with security and legal and other things.
You're going to invoke executive privilege?
Well, I think you have to for the sake of the office.
Your thoughts on that and potential other witnesses, Senator?
I think if I thought the Democrats were seriously trying to get to the facts versus continuing to impeach this president before he was ever sworn into office, then maybe that would hold water. Look, they had plenty of time, and they still have plenty of time. If they were serious about a prosecution doing their constitutional duty, then they would have gone through the courts. They would have subpoenaed whatever witnesses they wanted to, have the question of privilege argued. What I don't want to do is all of a sudden start doing their work in the Senate. I want to take the articles that they're about to send forward. I'm glad finally Speaker Pelosi is going to do that. And we're going to view it on the merits. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing what I expected the House to do before they ever took the vote on the articles back in December.
Yeah, and on that note, your colleagues on the other side of the aisle say they're ready. This is from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He says, quoting here, Senate Democrats are ready for the trial to begin and will do everything we can to see that the truth comes out. Looks like it's on, Senator.
Well, I guess so, but you'd think if there was any truth to it, they would have spent the time in the House to actually bring it forward. Look, one of the articles of impeachment is contempt of Congress because the president asserted a privilege that every president since George Washington has. And executive privilege is something that you go to the Article 3 branch, you argue your case and get through it. They want us to do that. And then they also want to go down this path of now they apparently want witnesses. They didn't allow the president to go into House proceedings, to get an opportunity to cross-examine witnesses. They didn't bring witnesses forward and do that, I think, because this is just another chapter in this sham of trying to impeach this president for 3 years.
Yeah. Senator Thom Tillis, good to see you, sir. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Well, for more on this, let's bring in Dan Henninger. He is the Wall Street Journal editorial page deputy editor, and of course, he is a Fox News contributor. He's been sitting here during